so rest in you.
I'm Will Weeks. I'm the president of UMBC Crew. And I'm a Big Break! Woo! My favorite part about Big Break is the spiritual conversations. You can go up to anyone on this beach and they are going to be open and receptive to talking to you about the gospel and about Jesus. And these people are here, they're looking for something, and they may be finding it in alcohol, they may be finding it in sex or drugs, but that's temporary, and we're bringing them the eternal good news that will fill that void that they are desperately trying to fill. And the spiritual conversations is what it's all about. The most interesting thing I've learned is actually how open this environment is to having the spiritual conversations. Because I was under the impression that we were going to come down here, people are going to be, you know, basically practically having sex on the beach and not wanting to talk at all. Completely incoherent and not wanting to talk, but people do, and they want to talk. And so it was a big learning curve for me because I was expecting to get shut down. I was preparing my confidence to be shattered by people not wanting to talk to me, but that never happened. Our last day evangelizing, I was out evangelizing with Blair and Jack, and we met these, I don't know if pastoral nomads is the right term, or I don't know, but these people had just been spending a week in the forest getting in touch with Mother Earth. They hadn't shaved, they hadn't bathed in. I mean, girls' armpits hairier than these. Like, it was quite the sight, and you could smell them from like 500 yards away. Funniest thing, but also the best conversation I had while I was here, because they were the most open and most receptive, and we were able to take them from a pantheistic view where they believed God was in everything to more between agnostic and monotheism. So they really shifted their views on God throughout our conversation. So it ended up being the funniest thing, but also the coolest thing. If you're thinking about going on Big Break, I know this sounds kind of stupid, but don't think, just go. No amount of mental preparation or evangelistic experience that can prepare you for this kind of event, and you just got to get thrown into it. And when you're thrown into it, you'll be surprised how much God enables you to succeed, because God's not going to throw you in blind. He brings the people, the right people that you need to talk to, and He builds your confidence. And He makes, no matter what the conversation looks like, He makes it a success for His kingdom. And that's promised in Isaiah. I really enjoyed learning. It was actually from one of our speakers in the morning. Her name's Carrie, and she showed us a verse in Isaiah 49 where Isaiah was talking about how I've slaved for you in vain, I've done all these good works and nothing has come from it. But again, like I mentioned earlier in Isaiah 55, God answers him and tells him, my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways. You know, basically He's saying, I know what I'm going to do. You know, I have had several spiritual conversations with people, like at Big Break, in South Africa on Summer Project, and I felt like, wow, nothing good is going to come from that conversation. But that's not true. God is going to use everything to His glory. If I was able to just leave them with a Knowing God Personally booklet, I don't know if they're going to read it. They might read it and they might share it to a friend, and the evangelistic chain keeps going. And I think that's the coolest thing that I've learned. My favorite memory from this trip is actually, it was on Tuesday, and I went evangelizing with Blair, and it was the best day I've ever had evangelizing my entire life. For Christians rededicated their lives to Christ, and we had the greatest philosophical conversation with this girl named Callie, and that was probably my favorite memory of this entire trip. We went over to Burger King and talked to these workers, and this one guy came over who claimed he was a Christian, and he was like, man, you guys need to talk to my friends who aren't really Christian, they're really not believers at all. As soon as he says that, like, 9 or so people come out and they start drilling us with theology and drilling us with theological questions, and every time they're like, yeah, we really want to hear what you have to say. And then we'd say like one word and they go, oh wait, hold on, let me stop you right there. Let me tell you what I think about love. Let me tell you what I think about God. And they would just stop and not let us get a thought out. So it was kind of funny in the sense that it wasn't funny at all, and it was kind of frustrating funny. When we were on our car ride down, it was me, Dylan, Lindsay, and Shelby all in a car, and when anyone would start to fall asleep, Dylan would say, let's start the screaming game. And so one person would scream, the other person would scream louder, and progressive, it would get louder and louder. And Shelby has the most terrifying, ear-piercing, life-shattering, soul-shaking scream that I've experienced anyone on this earth. And there was one point where we made eye contact and she screamed at me, and I couldn't stop laughing. And Lindsay laughed so hard she drooled all over herself. It was a good memory. It was pretty swell. See ya.